Our staff focuses mainly on keeping the grounds happy and healthy.
Sure thing.
So we don't at this point have a designated communications person, but the website is a good place to start.
Yes.
And there's a link there for an email. So if somebody, if somebody's curious about that, then we get back to you.
Yeah, we get a lot of emails.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, in our last couple of minutes here before we break, I'll let you both have a stab at it. Is there anything about the Arboretum, anything I didn't ask about that might be worthy of a viewer knowing?
Well, I think a couple of other quick things, and I'm sure Diane could talk to you endlessly about this. We have the Hosta Garden, which is the Illinois Prairie Hosta Society, partners with us, and they have a beautiful garden that is by and large managed, tended to by their volunteer group. We provide a little bit of assistance, but it's their thing, and we love having those kinds of partnerships. And
would welcome more.
Yeah.
If Daylily Society thing, we love to have partners like that for groups as well to do their thing out here.
And then building that community connection is so important. Was there anything else you wanted to add specifically?
I was going to talk about the Hosta Garden.
Oh, you stole her answer. We've got about a minute. Anything else that we might have missed?
Well, I will just say that we have fabulous, very limited people, but the staff out here that helps us do everything is fantastic, and we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned earlier, before we were on camera, this council ring is the genius of a guy called John Brown, a retired landscape architect, who works with us on special projects. And he conceived this design and built it by hand with our students and staff. And similarly, he's done a lovely boardwalk in the Hosta Garden so that we can allow people to wander through the hostas without trampling all over them. And
Sure.
Again, a beautiful design, wonderfully executed, and very proud of our in-house capabilities to get projects done.
And our ag gardener, Claire,
Yeah.
she rebuilt the walls in the Hartley here.
Wow.
Unstacked them one stone at a time.
Yeah.
And put them back together. So.
Well, before I wrap, right quick, if I'm somebody in the community who is maybe wanting to lend a hand or volunteer and get more hands-on, is it just that email I contact?
Yes, that would be the best way.
And do you have it offhand, or I can throw it on screen? I can do both.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now today we are pivoting to talk about the Japan House here at the U of I Arboretum. So if you could, you were instrumental in getting this started, correct?
Yes.
Can you give us some background on how it came to be?
Right. That's long story short. The first I came to teach classes is in 1967. And then I was originally artist in residence, and eventually they would like to, students start raising voice, they want to study the things I demonstrated. And so such as tea ceremony, the contemporary way of pronouncing is the way of the tea, because in Japanese it's called cha, being tea, do is the way. And the way have many meanings, much richer meaning than just passage. Of course, when you go through passage of your life, so many excitement, accident, joy and sorrow, everything is on passage. So all that inclusive. So not only drinking of tea, tea is a powdered green tea that you have to whip it with hot water. Mm-hmm. That is a very simple act, but how to prepare and how to clear your mind to entertain your dear friends. And so the process was more important than just taste of the tea. Mm-hmm. And so this was more Christianization of Japanese culture. And so I start offering these classes, but of course, art department in the 1960s, they have no idea what the tea ceremony, and no one in campus.
Yeah.
So they give me the oil painting studio in the art department. Unfinished oil paintings hanging, stinks, and then floor is a mess because all the oil paintings such drops.
Right.
And then trying to explain about the philosophy of way of tea is wa mean harmony, kei respect, and sei mean purity, jaku is the tranquility in every meaning. And so somehow in bright fluorescent light on the ceiling and then filthy floor and try to convey this meaning is very difficult. So I quickly altered my rented townhouse living room into Japanese style. And I made a sliding door by hand. And so that was very popular. And that was in Alma Street nearby the Hessel Park. So from campus they had to walk about 10-15 minutes, but they are so enjoying it, a different atmosphere of a classroom. They have to take shoes off, they come to wash their hands first before you enter. And once you enter the room, the place called Tokonoma Alcove, where they have a wall hanging of Zen statesmen. So they sit and bow and then observe the writing and then try to understand meaning. And then class is going to begin. And this concept was so popular, we end up four semester waiting list. So
Hot commodity.
yes. So I end up sleeping in the basement because my living room to study, my bedroom all become classroom. So I set up bed in basement, which is in this area we have a sub pump. So sub pump next to my head, and all night long pump going on. And then one day in one of the reception, the gentleman come to talk to me saying, "Are you the Shozo Sato?" "Yes, I am. And I hear you offering interesting classes of tea ceremony. Is there anything we can help you?" And I said, "I'm sleeping next to the sub pump, and I wish I have a little more space." "Oh, you're using your home for classroom, so that's not fair. And so we'll find you a nice house." And then is the house in California Street, dead end, and then Lincoln Avenue. And now, Alumni Center to be built. So please move, we'll give you the space.
Yeah.
And move from there. So moving from an old Victorian style home made into Japanese style in interior. But they give us this wonderful space. And then enough of a space we can have a wonderful garden. And so the house was built with all the donation from all the supporters of Japan House. And Kimiko Gunji was the director of that time. And she was very active to promote the Japan House and tea ceremony and other Japanese culture. And then she retired, and now her daughter, Jennifer Gunji, is director, and she's running so perfectly, beautifully. And so, as I was explaining, in California, and in Lincoln Avenue, original Japan House doesn't have any garden. And so this mean is house structure, and then this is the garden. So the house structure and the garden together makes home. So in Japan, house structure alone is not your home. Garden have to be a part of your life. And in that kind of nature worship, like appreciation for the nature. And that is the way of Japanese houses. Well, in a big city like Tokyo, there's no luxury of having such a garden. But if you go to the outskirts, and then everybody have beautiful Japanese garden, and then all the sliding door open up to face the garden, and so almost like you're sitting in outside, and that is the Japanese way of life. So here we have a wonderful space. So we have created wonderful gardens, and Professor Jim Bayer, who retired, but he personally took over the designing and then creating this Japanese garden almost with his own fund. So that was wonderful support that we received. And he's 93 or 4. He'll come and then creep in the branches. So he's still supporting.
Well, we sure appreciate your time and coming on Take a Hike today. And is there anything else you wanted to add that I didn't ask about?
Well, I much appreciate it for having me in your program. And so the general public, they have never seen Japan House or history behind. I hope they learn it and they will visit Japan House.
Well, Professor Shozo, thank you again. And we thank our viewers for joining us for this episode of Take a Hike. If you're looking for more information about Japan House, you can find that online and on Facebook. We'll link that on our screen for you. And we hope that you'll join us for our next episode of Take a Hike.